Hello YouTube friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome to the Painted South. So in this video, I wanted to catch up with you. There's going to be a lot crammed into this video. It's going to be sort of like a month and a half of things that I've been working on kind of crammed into one. And most of you know that I live in South Carolina and we did get hit by the storm. We were without power for 4 days, power or water, because we are on a well. And when you don't have power, you can't pump water out of your well. So that was interesting, and I'm not going to dwell on that. There's so much going on. I'm sure you are overwhelmed with everything that you're seeing on social media. So just know that we're fine. We were without power. We had about 15 to 20 trees fall at our house. We live on 15 acres, but none of them hit the house or our outbuilding or the carport or anything. So that was a huge blessing. We did not get affected other than not having power or water for a little while. One of the trees did fall on our power line. I may insert some footage a little bit here or there just to kind of show you, but it's basically trees down, and one of the trees is laying on the power line. But after several days, they got around to it, and then we were fine. So that's that. I don't want to dwell on it. Like I said, there's so much in the news and on social media already. So as far as me and my household, our home here, we are fine. So that's all I wanted to say about that, and I'm very grateful for that. And nothing fell on the house. So a lot of you know that I have been talking about getting rid of things, purging things, and if I buy something new, I need to get rid of something. I have sold some things on Marketplace, but I just decided that I would get a vendor booth, and I contacted a local store that I've been shopping at since we moved down here, both of their locations, and so they happen to have a space come available September 1st. And so mid-August, I started getting everything ready for that booth, things to sell, things that I had to make over, project things that I had purchased that I was going to keep. So I have just a lot of little paint projects and before and afters and things that I've been working on that I would love to share with you. I also have a lot of things that I have purchased for our house to keep. So as I'm getting rid of things, as I purchase things, I've been getting rid of things and swapping decor out, and it's just been a lot of fun. So I'm excited to have the booth. I've actually sold a decent amount of stuff, and some things sold very quickly, and I'll explain that to you as I'm showing you some of the footage. And I have a lot of projects. I'm going to have a lot of tutorials for you. I may save the tutorials for after Christmas because there's going to be a lot to share between now and Christmas. And then after Christmas, I can probably focus on a little bit less decorating as we all sort of settle down after the holidays, and we can start focusing on spring cleaning and projects and all of that kind of thing. So that's probably when I'm going to start my makeover videos as far as like detailed tutorials and painting techniques. A lot of you know I was working on that garden room. I did pause on that to get everything ready for the booth. I had to paint display pieces and all that kind of thing. I have done some makeovers on some furniture and so forth. So I did get the garden room to a certain point, and I'm going to show you the trim and how I painted it. And I have paused on that, and I kind of had to because we have so much going on. I should be finishing that, I hope, this month. We'll see, but I will show you how far I've gotten on that, and you can let me know what you think about how the trim is turning out. So let's just get into this video. I have a lot to share, so let's get started.
When this storm came through overnight, it sounded like a freight train was rolling directly on your roof. We lost power sometime in the middle of the night. When the wind gust had finally calmed down a bit, we took a walk to see if there was any damage, and we were very grateful to see that all of the trees that fell were nowhere near our home. While we were very fortunate, there are so many people who are not. So if you are capable at all, please consider donating to any charity that is truly helping those in need. All right, so let's take a look at this garden room. This is not how it's going to look. I had to stop work on everything. It's not going to be this color. I did try this yellowish greenish tan color, and I liked it when the trim was white, and then I decided to do a wood look on all of this, and I'll show you that in just a second. Right now it just looks like it's dark brown. Now please ignore my ring light, and we have the old laundry room in there. It's storage for all the paint, so it's a mess. But let's get in here and see what I've done. Now you may remember my husband built this arch here. This was not here. And I did do a faux finish on it, faux stone finish. It's also not done. I wanted to get all of the paint colors figured out before I finalized that color. That ceiling fan is just staying there until I find a chandelier or other lighting. Now I did try some dark glaze on this side, and I didn't like it, so I did stop there. So we added that trim. I showed that in my last video, and I'm still adding texture to all the brick. I have another idea for this as well, so I also paused, but you'll see this was just that faux paneling, faux brick paneling that you get at Lowe's or Home Depot. And I did add one layer of texture, looks like that. And then I have started adding more layers of more gritty texture so that when I paint it, it looks a lot more realistic. So that's how far I've gotten, and I will insert a photo of something that I saw on Pinterest that got me thinking maybe I wanted to add some trim around the back and on the corners instead of filling these in so it looks like real brick. This is what I'm having to do. I had to basically pack stuff in there so that it looks like it's an actual brick wrapping around, and then of course I'll fill all of that in with the mortar. And you know, right there it cracked a little bit, but all that will be filled in. So that's what I've been working on there. That's how far I've gotten. And once I decided to do this trim, this dark wood color, now this is actually like a yellowish paint with gel stain over it, and I still have a couple more layers to do, so it will be lighter. And then I did all of the baseboard around here. So now this is what it's looking like. Sorry about the lighting. This was a little piece of trim, drywall, and then baseboard and shoe molding. I'll try to get some more footage and better lighting, but this plant stand is a Facebook Marketplace find, and they pretty much use the same technique on this, which is interesting because I'd already been doing the trim and then I saw this. But you basically can get a faux wood look by painting a yellowish orange color and then going over it with stain. Now this obviously needs fixed, but I just thought it was really pretty, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. I do need to add more highlights, and then I'll go back over it with a little more stain and a little bit lighter color. But that's the basic concept that they use on things like this. So this is not real wood. She said it was in the ad, but you know how that goes. But I'm fine with it. I thought it was really pretty and thought it would look really nice in here. So I don't know if you remember, this was our old door jamb. This door is going to be completely gone, so I left that white. This will just be like a cased opening. And I don't know if you remember, but my husband added these pieces of trim, this piece, and then this was actually a piece of crown molding laid flat, and then this piece to create this big
cased opening, this fancy trim, and I love it. I love the look of it. Again, that door is going to be totally gone. This is our old laundry room. It is storage right now, and that goes out to our porch. And most of all of those plants are going to be coming in. That's why I'm doing this garden room. So let me spin around. So from this old laundry room, which is going to be our wet bar and pantry, this is what you see, that beautiful arch that my husband built. And I do love all of this trim looking wood. Now it is, like I said, it's going to be a little bit lighter and show a lot more detail, especially when we get some good lighting in here. The lighting's just terrible. Now this dresser is something that I was working on for my vendor booth. I was going to sell it, and it's not finished. It needs a couple more coats. I have all the textured layering on here, but some of the drawers open just fine, super easy, and then some of them don't. So I may end up keeping that here. It's not something I'm comfortable selling. I need to order probably some new drawer slides. I don't know if that will fix the problem, but for now, it's a pretty green color. We just wheeled it in here to get it out of the living room, which is where I was working on it. But I think it's a really neat chest of drawers. I like the shape of it, and the color's pretty in here, so I may keep it in here. The drawer slides are about 2 for $20, something like that. So you can do the math on that. That's about $120 for just new drawer slides. I may try to fix the ones that are in there. So that's just kind of tucked right there. I didn't have time to continue messing with it. And then I have started to bring a lot of the plants in here. Oh, this is another plant stand that I got at a consignment store. And I'm trying to remember what I paid for it. I think it was kind of pricey. I think it was maybe $75, something like that. But I loved it. I think it's from the 60s. I think I saw on the bottom something like that, or I looked it up. Anyway, I love that shape. So pretty. Probably leave it that finish. Maybe not. You never know. But I just have that plant there. And then these are all the little ones from the kitchen and around the house. I'm going to start giving away some of these Wandering Jude plants. I have a ton. Every time one breaks off, I put it in water, and I just have way too many. So I think I'm going to start giving those away free on Marketplace. So I just put that little light in here because there isn't a lot of light. So that's pretty much it. I think it's really going to look great when it's all done. Have all the wood trim done, get this arched wall here the right color. And now the color that is on the wall is something that I mixed up, and I really liked it at the time. And I went to Ace Hardware and had them color match it, and then I got it in an eggshell. But then I decided to do the trim dark. So I am going back with an off-white. I think it is called Summer Breeze. Let me see if I can find that swatch or the bucket, and I'll show it to you. Okay, the color is actually Southern Breeze, and I had it mixed in a Glidden paint and an eggshell finish.
I needed display furniture for my booth, so I decided to use pieces that I already had on hand. I had purchased 2 Ethan Allen entertainment centers a few years ago, one of them at a thrift store and one of them on Marketplace. I am using one in my living room, and these other 2 side pieces from the second unit are perfect with their adjustable shelves. They just needed painted. I decided to do a layered distressed antique white finish on the front and sides, and then I painted the interior a color called Natural Burlap. I really liked the contrast with the original wood look on the shelves, so I decided to leave those as they were. I also painted one half of a counter height dining table to place in between the shelving towers. I am using the other half of this table as my makeup table in my dressing room. I painted for days and days, and I can't wait to share with you detailed tutorials on all of these paint finishes. You can transform almost anything in your home to whatever you want it to look like just by using paint, and you can do this whenever you're ready for a change in your decor without having to go out and buy new things. However, if you do want to buy new things, you need to come to my vendor booth at Ivy House in Lexington. I didn't like the splatter type finish on these roasters, so they got a much needed French country rustic makeover. Now, some of the things that I was working on were items for me to keep, and I will be using these pieces in my home in an upcoming decorating video. Now let's take a peek at my booth and see how it has progressed over the first month. As things sold, I replaced them and added more decor each week. I have always loved painting and decorating and rearranging furniture and home decor, so as you can imagine, I am having a blast. Now, I have to confess something, and that is that I really regret selling these Asian prints. They were so gorgeous, but I keep telling myself that someone is enjoying their beauty while they're hanging in their new home, and so that makes me happy. You may notice that there are a lot of pieces in this beautiful dark antique gold or bronze-like finish. If you are interested in learning how that I created this look or any of the other finishes that you see in this video, please let me know in the comments below. I will be doing a tour of the entire store in the future. They do have 2 locations and I love both of them. I shopped at the other one before this one was even open. This is their newer location and it is in Lexington. They are both wonderful to shop. You will have a great experience if you are able to stop by here while you're out and about. We are in October. It is my very favorite month. It's my birthday month, and I just love it so much. I love everything about it, the weather and everything. Now, I'm still in fall mode for the booth at the moment and at my home, but I will be switching gears for my booth because our holiday open house is approaching quickly. The holiday open house preview party is going to be October 25th from 6:30 to 9 p.m. And then the open house is going to be 10 to 6 on Saturday, October the 26th.
Well, I have really enjoyed catching up with you in this video. I hope you will join me in my next video. And until then, bye for now.